Howdy everybody, time to get started on another episode of documenting the creation of Tradition Farm. So since the last video, I haven't been recording anything yet of course, but I've just been doing a lot more cleanup, so more sawing and hauling of wood, and I am almost done with all of that. So mainly just have some bigger branches that I need to load up and haul up to the house, and then I'll pretty much be done with the majority of the cleanup. Just waiting for another day to good day to burn, to get a couple brush piles burned, but those aren't really in the way significantly right now, so no major rush on that. So pretty convenient timing. We've gotten quite a bit of rain in the last week, got quite a bit last night, and it's been enough to where I've been able to get some standing water out here. So normally I'd be upset about that because of course I want to, you know, do everything out here and not worry about driving around in super messy ground, but this gives me a good idea of where a lot of the lower spots are, or any spots where there could be some standing water. So when I get to creating the loop, I know which areas to avoid if I can. You know, I can always do some dirt work to try to fix all that, but you know, if I can avoid these standing water spots, then that makes it easier in creating the loop. So this morning, after hauling a couple more loads of logs, I've gone around and walked around the entire property and flagged out any areas of standing water or kind of, you know, significantly swampy areas to avoid. So because ideally, you know, if we get big rains in the future, it dries out pretty quickly and we're running in the areas that aren't too bad, and we can keep putting in our training out here. So now that the bulk of the major cleanup around the land is done, it is finally time to start measuring and flagging the loop. So the plan is tomorrow to start doing that just for the 400-meter grass track, and then I'll see how long that takes, and I might do some more. But yeah, it's exciting. Finally feels real that we're getting there. Awesome morning of progress so far. Got up first thing and started hauling the rest of the wood up to the house, and then I kind of just cleaned things up and hauled all my stumps into one pile. So now everything's a little bit more open. So pretty much all I have left are some hedge trees, and then I've got this one big group of rounds that are kind of rotten. I'm not sure what I want to do with them, but might haul those up to the house, might keep them down there and burn them. I don't know yet. So yeah, anyways, really happy with the progress, and now it's going to be on to measuring and flagging the 400-meter grass track. Okay, so the math teacher in me is coming out real quick, and I'm going to give a little lesson on track math and how I'm going about putting these measurements that I have on a paper into reality out there on the farm. So first off, I have a measuring device. I'm going to use a measuring device that basically you place a target somewhere. You have a laser that you point at that target, and it tells you how far away you are to the nearest centimeter or hundredth of a meter. So I'm going to be working off of this rectangle, trying to create this rectangle and find these 8 different points that will help me measure out the track or flag out the boundaries of the track. So first step is going to be placing a flag in the southeast corner of the land and calling this point A. Basically just want to eyeball that and make sure it's at a point where the east curve does not interfere, go onto the neighbor's property, and I want that south edge to be along the south tree line of the land. So once I have that flag placed, I'm going to place the target there, and then I'm going to go all the way down to the southwest corner to point D and make sure that that laser is 155.80 meters. So then I will have kind of the 2 corners of the rectangle placed, and I'm going to move a little bit further down and place a flag at C. There's a little bit of human error in this because I'm just going to eyeball it and make sure these are all in a straight line with each other, but this flag will serve as one of the points of curve for the track, and I'm going to make sure that that laser reads as 117.90 meters, and then I place one more there along the south edge, and this will serve as the other point of curve on the south end of the track, and make sure that that distance from point A to point B is 37.90 meters, which is also the radius of the track or the turns. So then once I have that one placed, then I have these 4 flags placed along the south edge, the south tree line. Again, hopefully they're all in a straight line. That could cause some slight errors if they're not, but it's not going to be perfect, but I want to get it close enough. So got all four of those flags placed now. And now the next step is going to be finding those top 2 points of curve on the north end. So basically how I'm going to go about doing this is just using math from right triangles. So basically to find point G, theoretically that should be a right triangle from point A to point B to point G. We already know the distance from point A to B is 37.90 meters. We know that the distance from B to G is just going to be 2 times the radius or the diameter of the curve, which should be 75.80 meters. And then just using the Pythagorean theorem, we find out that the hypotenuse or segment AG should be 84.75 meters. So next up is to find that point G, and basically how I'm going to go about doing that is I will still have the target at point A, and then I'm going to go make an arc of flags around where I think G would be and make sure all of those flags are 84.75 meters away from the target at point A. And then we're going to finally move the target to a different spot. So we're going to move the target to point B, and I'm going to make another arc. And this time that arc of flags is going to be 75.80 meters away. And basically wherever those 2 arcs meet, that's where the third point of curve that I'm marking is going to be point G. So then once I have that marked, then I just need to place a flag in the center of B and G there at E, and again that's just the radius of the turn, so 37.90 meters. Once again, just kind of eyeballing, making sure that's in a straight line, and I can also make sure the target reaches 37.90 up to point G as well. So then I've got the center of that turn marked, and then I go over, I'll save you on the details this time, but I basically do the same thing all over again, this time just mirrored and using that right triangle math to find point H and place a flag there. So then I've got flags placed at all 4 points of curve, and then I've got to find the center of that west turn as well. Once again, 37.90 meters. So once that's done, then I have all 8 of those points marked on the track. And once I have mainly those 4 points of curve and the centers of the curve, that's the most important thing to measure out or to flag out the turns. Basically, I will place a target at point F first, and then I'm going to go up to point H and make sure I'm 37.90 meters away, and I'm going to work my way all the way around to point C, making sure every flag I place is 37.90 meters away from point F. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Place the target at point E, I start at point G and work my way around to point B, making sure it's 37.90 meters. And then so I will have, where the red is there, I will have flags at all of those points. And then I just have to place flags on the straightaways from G to H and B to C. And I'll just eyeball that again, just make sure it's in a straight line. I'll do it all, and then I'll go back and look and make sure if I need to adjust any flags, I can do that. So then once I have that, then I have the boundaries of the track all marked. And here's kind of some, what the math works out to be in the end. So if you're measuring, the way I planned this out to be, I wanted the straightaways to be 80 meters long and the curves to be 120 meters long. So if you do the math there with the radius of 37.90 meters, basically it works out to be where the curve is only 119.07 meters. Multiply that by 2 and you get 238 meters. But what a lot of people probably don't know is how a track is actually measured. Is 30 centimeters outside of the curb. So like in lane 1, if you have a curb on a synthetic track, obviously you're not going to be running on that curb, so they measure it from where a runner will typically be running, which is about 1 foot or 30 centimeters away from that. So if you redo the math and make the measurements from 38.20 meters out, or 30 centimeters outside of the boundary of the flags, then it works out to be really close. I mean, there's some slight rounding errors, but 240.02 meters. So that gets it close enough, and basically calling it 400 meters. So out there on the grass track, of course, like my boundary eventually is going to be mowed grass and tall grass, and you're not going to be running right on that boundary. So I wanted to do the same thing where I'm measuring a little bit outside of that boundary. So that is basically the math of the track. Getting a little help from the crew today, so got a group over there splitting some wood, and then I'm gonna have one help me with measuring out this grass track. So there's the setup there, just a laser that points at a target and tells me how far away it is. So basically I'm gonna have somebody stand there with the target, and I'm just gonna walk around to various points and point at it with the laser and put some flags, and eventually I'll have it all flagged out. Probably hard to see all the flags in the video, but the grass track is now flagged out. So boys have been getting a lot of work done over there wood splitting, got through everything that was underneath the RV port, but still a long ways to go, but big help from them today. Good morning, everybody. Very productive day yesterday. I know it may seem a little anticlimactic flagging out that 400-meter grass track because there's so much work and planning and whatnot that goes into that, and then only just a little bit of footage of setting up. There's going to be more work that goes into it, but as far as flagging and measuring goes, it is exciting to me, but it's not very exciting footage wise anyways. But a couple things I want to get done today. I think I want to knock out a couple sections of the fence over there where the grass track will run through on both straightaways. And then I think I want to get a little more mowing done. So I've got one more section that wasn't like super thick or brushy or anything that I haven't mowed over yet, but that's where the perimeter 1K loop is going to run through. So I want to get that mowed down, and then I think that'll be it for the day. I probably need to get into the office after that, and tomorrow we are leaving for indoor nationals. So we'll be gone for a week and won't be able to work on the land for a little while, but next week is spring break, and hopefully we'll have some good opportunity to get some work done then. So I got a couple sections of fence knocked out where the straightaways run through. A little easier process than I was imagining. I didn't know if I would be able to rip those T-posts out by hand, but I was successful with that, and there were only 3 of them that I had to rip out, so yeah, not too bad. And then I just kind of straightened up my straightaway flags a little bit, and yeah, I think tonight when I get back home, I forgot to bring my wheel out here this weekend, so I'm going to measure the track and make sure I'm close. You know, of course there's going to be some human error, but just want to make sure I didn't mess up anything major. And then as long as that is correct, then I think I'm going to mow a real short path around the flags. It won't really matter much because I want to do some dirt work to get it real nice and plant some grass, but yeah, I'll do it for the heck of it just so you can kind of hopefully see where a path is. But for now, I'm going to get on to some different mowing. moment of truth, back out here with the measuring wheel now. So I'm going to wheel around, do my best to keep the wheel about a foot outside of the wire flags on the turns, and we'll see what we end up at. Obviously there's always going to be a little bit of human error in there, but as long as it's close, I'm going to be happy with it and might mow it down pretty short. 401.6 meters on the first wheel through. So again, there's always going to be some human error. Could have been wheeling a little bit wide in places, and also the terrain is not super smooth right now. Kind of tough wheeling and not keeping ground contact time, but just kind of some up and down through bumps and whatnot. So I do trust the laser a lot. I mean, as a professional device that is going to be very accurate, and my flag placement should all be good. So yeah, I kind of trust that, and I'm gonna mow it down shorter, and I might do another wheel through just as a second test. I'm liking the looks of things so far. It's getting dark quick. I want to give this thing a lap and give it a test run to hit the first lap ever at the Tradition Farm grass track. So I'm gonna shoot for 6 flat pace, 90 seconds. We'll see how close I can get. That was a 92 high. I want to get a little closer than that, so I've got to do another lap. .88.3 that lap. I'm gonna give it one more shot. .89.6 on lap number 3. Yeah, give me a break for breathing really hard. The only exercise I've been doing is hauling wood lately. Been a while since I've run, but still got some sort of pacing gene. Not great, but not bad for on a grass track. Freshly mowed in the dark. So decided to give it one more measure after mowing it down, and I could still see the flags. It's pretty dark out, but I could see the flags where I was going and everything, and ended up a little bit closer. So not quite 401 meters. So pretty happy with that measurement, and it's never going to be 100% perfect just because I am human, but yeah, tried to be as precise and as accurate as I could, and that's pretty close. So yep. We are on to Virginia Beach tomorrow for indoor nationals, and won't be back until Sunday. So gonna be a little while before I can get any more work done out here, and excited to get back at it, but got to take care of business this week first.